Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is Talking Crazy 88. Back again with another podcast for you. The cigar of the evening is a handmade cigar from my cigar shop that I usually go to. My cigar lounge that I usually go to. It's not bad. Not my kind of stick, but it's not bad. It'll do for now. And this is an oldie but a goodie, but I found this beer, Schaefer beer, in the white neighborhood. Like I said before, man, the old boomer generation white folks, they love this beer. They love Schaefer beer. And Brother Rich loves it too. It tastes great. And it's less filling too. Alright. I want to expound on the cigar and thoughts that I had on I think Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday when Cameron Giles booted Adrian Barano off the show because he kept hitting on Stat Baby, Treasure Wilson, while her boyfriend was there. And this is what I wanted to expound on. This is the reason why I want you brothers to stay focused on the job, stay focused on making your money, and avoiding situations when you're dealing with women. You got to deal with them on the job. And when you're dealing with women on the job, you got to be extra careful and ultra professional. Okay? Don't go around hitting on the women because everybody's watching. And you also got to maintain your reputation. See, when I was on the job, when I had a job, I just didn't give a fuck about a job. So that was my reputation. I just really didn't give a fuck. Because I knew I was going to be there that long. Because I had bigger and better things on the horizon. Now, that's not the attitude that you brothers should have. You should always take your job seriously. And this is an example, and this is what I'm telling you. Take your job seriously. Take any job that you have seriously. And that's not a habit that you want. You don't want my bad habits of going in your job saying fuck it. Unless they're fucking with you. And you're just looking for another job on company time. Hang on for just a second. Let me go ahead and check on something. Alright, fellas. I'm back. I just had to check on my own recipe and my own version of Popeye's red beans and rice. So yeah, in the old days, that's what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing a midnight snack with a smoke. But like I said, fellas, you gotta maintain. Do not, under any circumstances, pick up any bad habits that will affect your work habits. All right. I want to take your job seriously. Okay. I want to take it seriously. Me, I knew I was going to get fucked over on the job. But like I said, when I was dating this Polish chick, and I told her the story about how I said fuck it on the job and got myself fired and got on unemployment. She thought it was ingenious. I said, no, that's not ingenious. That's not. You shouldn't do that because you have responsibilities. Most people have responsibilities. I had responsibilities. I had to maintain my house. I had to make sure I had a roof to live. I had a roof to sleep under, some clothes on my back, and food in my mouth. Food, clothing, and shelter. That's what we're working for, people. That's what we're working for in the United States or America. You work until you're too old to enjoy your wealth that you accumulated over the years. That's what working in America is all about. That's what the 99%ers are doing. And I'm no better than you or anybody else. Shit, and I still have to work for a living. Although I'm doing my own thing, I'm self-employed, but I still have to work. Gotta get up I gotta do the 9 to 5 on my own time. But in essence, that's a good. But let me go ahead and get back to a black man's reputation. And I keep stressing that. I keep wanting every week that I'm on the balcony with my cigar, I'm always alarmed that black men do not value their reputation. Okay? They're so eager to be emotional with a chick, or when the police confronts them, or they're confronted by the police or any authority figure. Or anything, or just in general. Like last weekend I went down to Baltimore with some of my friends, and there was a mix-up, no big deal. My best friend started barking at me on the phone, and I barked back because the other night I was fucked up. I was still hungover and fucked up. He was hungover and fucked up. But it was the Canelo and the Crawford fight that got us testosterone going, man. Because that's what I'm going to talk about that fight too, man. I'm going to talk a little bit about that fight, man. I don't know too much about Terrence Crawford, But I know his story. I know a little bit about his story. About his pops told him that he was going to be a champion, but his mom said he ain't going to be shit. Okay? To the point, he told a story about how his mom paid every kid in the neighborhood $10 to go ahead and whip her son's ass. He never lost a fight. And I'm going to transition into black man's reputation to the black woman's psyche. He obviously overcame the trauma of his mama, and he posted a beautiful picture of his family. I think it's not his wife, but his girlfriend, his longtime girlfriend, and their 6 kids, and their 6 children by that one woman. Okay. And shout out to Terrence Crawford for winning the title over Canelo. Man, that was it. I didn't see the fight. Well, I didn't see the fight because I got too drunk. You know, I got too drunk. I got too drunk to even watch the fight, man. I was like, oh shit, the fight is on tonight. The fight is on Saturday night. It's fight night. You know, that's my time. That's when my testosterone is really flowing next year. On overtime, because shit, if I don't see a good, if I'm not watching a good fight, I want to see a fight after the fight. Shit. So this is why I always tell black men, you know, you always got to maintain a good reputation, because you got to remember, this is the reason why. You know, I don't really care too much about black women anymore. Yeah. I know my mother is a black woman. My sister is a black woman. My aunties are black. My grandmother was a black woman. Both my grandmothers, God rest their soul, they were black women, and they were amazing black women. But I don't see too many black women holding black men in high regard nowadays, because it's always got to be the black man. The man is always the head of the family. The man is always the man of his household. All right, not the woman, not the black woman, but it seems like the black woman is the head of the household. And that's reason number 1,196. That's reason 1,196 is that I'm not married. I'm not married to anybody. See, I wasn't married. I had opportunities to date other races of women, but I was always discouraged by my family. Not just my black mama, my black daddy, who in essence didn't really like white folks. He didn't really like white folks. He didn't like his children dating white folks. He didn't like his children dating their children. And I can understand that. And I have to respect that. And I have to respect my mother and father. So for years I've dated no good black women. You know, that had virtually no respect for me as a man, as the head of the household. Let me go ahead and just tell this story. When I was down back around 10 years ago, I was visiting one of my relatives who was on this podcast before. And we did a podcast together. But I went down to Maryland to see her, to see my cousin, to see her. And we stopped into a nursing home. or nursing hospital where she was visiting her boyfriend's mother at the time. So I said, well, I don't know this bitch. So let me just go ahead and sit down in the lobby and just hang out. All right. So as I was hanging out in the lobby, I was playing on my iPhone at the time. And it was Father's Day the weekend. It was actually Father's Day that I went down there. So and there was this one woman, this one elderly woman. She looked like she was in great shape. But, you know, she was in the hospital for a nursing home for a reason. So she was walking around smiling, saying Happy Father's Day to all the men that were there. And she was telling this story about, and she was talking, well, not telling the story, but she was talking about her late husband. And she talked about him in a way of love and respect, which I've never seen come out of the mouth of a black woman. Okay? I've never seen it. I've never seen it in my own family. I've never seen it. I've never heard a black woman say so much respect, you know, have so much respectful things to say about her late husband. And I could see it in her eyes that she was deeply in love with this man. And she held him in a high regard that no one else can ever even come into her life and match that energy. See, that's the type of love that I'm looking for. I'm not talking about just being loved. I'm talking about just being revered and desired. Kind of like that song by the OJs, Desire Me. And that song personifies what that woman was saying about it. Was saying how she felt about her husband. And it's not just a black woman thing. I don't hear other races of women revering, you know, holding the men in their life in high esteem. Okay? We're the ones that always say, "Oh, I'm so lucky to have her. I'm so lucky to have that bitch." No, the bitch should be lucky to have you. Because as a man, you could have 10 different side pieces. Okay? You could be a pookie. Now, the black woman will hold a pookie in high regards. Let's take my crack-headed ex-girlfriend, who I met down in Kansas City 25 years ago. Do you realize that this bitch had the nerve to say with a straight face in my face about her, talked about how she said the one thing that I know about he may have been a piece of shit, but the one thing that I know that he when we were together, that he never looked at other women. Because this bitch was so psychotic, because she always thought that I was looking at other women. But see, that tells me something, that she did not like me. She did not hold me in high regards or revere me. Right? I was just too young and dumb and stupid and inexperienced to realize that. See, fellas, your woman has to hold you up in high regard. You have to be the apple of her eye. Now, She may not be a 10, she may not be a baddie. Okay? And we're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about the baddies that y'all are desiring. Bitches that don't have a brain in their head. Like the bitch that I was dating earlier this year. Had a University of Alabama degree, but didn't have a brain in her head. Didn't like, respect, or revere me. I was supposed to be the one worshiping her. But that's not how it works, people. In real life, in biblical society, even if you're not in the Bible, that's the natural order. You go outside this country, and see how the men and women interact. They hold their men in high regards, people. Well, not necessarily. Well, let me go ahead and take that back. Because if that was the case, then there wouldn't be a passport bro movement where American black men are traveling all over the country, all over the world, and these women. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of them are hoes. Let me go ahead and take that back. That's not true. They do hold their men in high regards and self-esteem. They just so poverty-stricken. A lot of them are so poverty-stricken. They have to do what they have to do to survive. See, the money that you're giving them, that's their salary. That's their monthly salary. You just double their salary. You just double their monthly salary. That $200 that you give this bitch for getting the pussy, she's using that money on her husband or her boyfriend or baby daddy. Because none of y'all, because to be honest with you, not a lot of y'all niggas are marrying these women that are overseas. And I get it. Y'all not trying to get married to these bitches. You're not trying to get married. You're trying to get your dick wet. I get it. But you have to travel overseas to do it. And I get it. Shit, I have my passport. I got to renew my damn passport. And I'm getting the fuck up out of here. But not to get no pussy. Not to get some nasty ass pussy. But I'm going to go overseas. Have your fun. Go overseas, have your fun. But you got to understand that the woman, if you're really looking to get married, that woman has to have that crazy look in her eyes every time you come around. All right? She has to hold you in high esteem. Because you really are the prize. She can't do nothing without a man around. It's not supposed to happen. That's not natural. That's not the order. Look at the animals. Watch Wild Kingdom. You don't see the lioness leading the flock. It's always the lion leading the flock. It's always the male zebras. It's always the male tigers. Okay? That's supposed to be the order of in nature. But we're all out of order here in this country. We're all out of order. Our black man's reputation is being a punk, not a punk, but when it comes to black women, we're the punks. We're second-class citizens. But guess who raised us? Our mothers. My mama raised us. Some of y'all in the female-headed household. That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, Shannon Sharp. That's why Shannon Sharp is acting like a fucking fool. Gave away $10 million to a punk ass bitch. Not only a punk ass bitch, a 20-year-old punk ass bitch, who probably about 10 years from now, she's gonna smoke that money up if she doesn't have a financial advisor, which I hope she has. I hope she has one. I've been talking for 25 minutes. I'm not gonna be out on the balcony too long because I got a date tomorrow morning with an Italian woman. We'll see how that works out. It's an Italian white woman, which is probably my favorite type of woman to date. But we'll see what happens, all right? We'll see what happens. But I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I might do a live stream tomorrow afternoon, also on the balcony with a cigar in my mouth. And I'll let you in on what happened on the date. But all I'm saying is, black men, life as a black man, these black women are figuring out real quick that they're going to be second-class citizens in a few. All that black girl magic ain't going to cut it, because these bitches are losing their jobs left and right. Okay. Now they're saying, what's happening, brother? How you doing, brother? Get the fuck out of here. Now, I'm not going to be saying I'm not going to be disrespectful or black women are not. But I'm just saying that black American women are not useful to a black man. They are very disrespectful when it comes to a black man. I'm just going to put it out there. But non-black women, non-American black women ain't much better either. They ain't much better either. But the only thing that you have in this life, black man, is your reputation. Like I said, you can either have a good reputation or you can have a bad reputation. It's so hard to build a good reputation, but it's really easy to lose that reputation just like that, off an allegation. Just by a mere allegation of sexual harassment on the job, and turn your reputation upside down in 24 hours. Okay? I was telling one of my buddies, man. I have my best friend. He having some trouble on the job because he's stuck in his career, and he's a smart guy, got a law degree, all that. But he's working this bullshit job. Man, why aren't you practicing law, man? Why aren't you in the law offices where you at? And I love to say that there's still racism on the job. White racism, white supremacy on the job. Just like I used to hear all those stories on the context of white supremacy, where Gus T. Renegade talks about incidents of black folks come in, call in, and talk about some of the things that they're going through on the job, where white folks are practicing white supremacy on the job. And that's something that you have to be very careful about. See, this is why I don't really hold Caucasians in a high regard. I see them for what they are. All right? I see them as a group. I see them for what they are as a group. Individually, okay, I'm cool with you. I can sit down and have a beer and shoot the shot, shoot the breeze with you. But as collectively, I mean, if I was on the job competing with you, you're going to pull out all the stops to get rid of me. You're going to get rid of me on the job. You're not going to try to help me. But unless I have a skill that I have that y'all don't have, that they don't have, and that's the thing. Like I told you before, black men, you have to make yourself valuable on the job. Going to work, doing enough not to get fired is not going to cut it in this economy, in this administration. Because they're looking at you as a DEI hire. They still do. DEI is just a 21st century affirmative name for, they just renamed it for the 21st century of affirmative action. That's all it is. That's what DEI is. And those white folks do not like it. Trust me. They do not like it. But protect your reputation on the job, black man. Leave those punky ass women, leave the punky ass bitches on the job alone. Believe me. And I'm gonna talk a little bit, and let me go ahead and talk a little bit more about how Cameron Giles booted off Adrian Bronner. Now I have to respect what Cameron did, but it should have been handled a lot better, and I'm gonna tell you why. They should have just stopped the show and said, hey, paid him what he had to pay, boot him off the show, and said, hey, we had to switch up on the segment. Because the brother was not in any condition to do the show in the first place. He was either high or drunk or punch drunk or half asleep. Something was going on with this brother. If he was Cameron, he's known for embarrassing niggas. And that's one of those Harlem. That's one of those Harlem. Yeah, he's a true Harlem nigger. A nigger, not nigga, nigger. Where they're gonna clown you They're gonna clown you. If they sense any weakness on you, they're gonna expose it. They're gonna expose you and clown you for it. That's what that nigga does. That's what he does, man. That's what all them Harlem niggas like him do that sucker ass shit. And it is a sucker ass shit to put this man on TV acting a fool, looking crazy, looking high and inebriated, damaging his reputation. Now, I know he had a reputation of being a cornball and saying crazy shit, but that just sealed it for him. Adrian Bronner. I mean, he up here talking crazy about fighting until his 40s. Are you crazy? You should have had some money. All those championships that you won, all those $1 million purses that you won, that you took home. What the fuck did you do with your money? I know when Michael Spinks was fighting, had that fight back with Mike Tyson back in '88. And I saw that motherfucker, man. He did not want to. He did not want to get in the ring. I told my brother. I told brother Rich. I said, "Hey, man, look at those old interviews, man. Those pre-fight interviews. That nigga did not want to get in that ring with Mike Tyson. I promise you that." And after 35 years after that fight, he started looking at those tapes. He was like, talking crazy. You're right. That motherfucker, that nigga did not want to fight Mike Tyson. He was scared. But he got $15 million, paid off his trainers and everything else, paid off all his bills, still sitting on a ton of cash and didn't have to work a damn job for the rest of, he didn't have to work for the rest of his life. He didn't have to get into the ring for the rest of his life. And he still has his cash. But like I said, fellas, and we're going to talk about money next week, or probably later on today or next week, sometime next week. That ridiculous Dame Dash interview on the Breakfast Club. Another black man. Another Harlem nigger. We never grew up, and I don't believe he never grew up. He's a grown man, he made money, he made moves, but he just never grew up. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Probably going to talk about it tomorrow or later on, or probably sometime next week. I don't know. Well, listen, let me go ahead and get the fuck up out of here. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black men, let's be careful out there, okay?